fixing lang your phone.
Oh, I was discussing na.
Pero yun pala. Yeah, I didn't notice. I was just like, oh, maybe he's fixing it.
No. Anyway. So we go back to the issue of today we will discuss the remedies of a taxpayer. What happens when the BIR assess you? And this is where you will probably need the assistance of a lawyer. Okay. Actually, in reality, you don't need a real lawyer, a tax lawyer to do this. Because most often than not, this is a matter of litigation. So the first question you will ask is, did you get a PAN? A PAN. Did you get a PAN, then a PAN? So the other day we were discussing that if they don't give you the PAN, then the whole assessment is void. Sorry na, rejected. And why would they not give you a PAN? Because they may think that it's one of the exception. That's one, which is debatable sometimes. But most often than not, is the BIR just forgot. They forgot to give you the PAN. The second issue about the PAN, from the point of view of the lawyer, is what if the taxpayer was not informed of the factual and legal basis? Again, that would make the whole assessment void. Okay? Understand? So, first, there must be a PAN. Now, what is in the PAN? It must include the factual and legal basis. So, in the case of Enron Subic, what happened was during the pre-assessment stage, during the LOA, letter of authority stage, LOA, the BIR had actually informed the taxpayer of all the mistakes and deficiencies that they found. Okay. And then they even furnished a copy of the audit working paper showing in detail the computation, etc. So what happened? The problem was that is not the one that is required by law, because the showing of the worksheet, the computation itself is not a valid substitute for the mandatory notice in writing of the legal and factual basis of the assessment. Okay? Yeah, do you get the point? Kahit na pinaalam mo na sa kanya in 1,000 times by showing the detail of the schedule, pakita mo sa kanya yung accounting mistakes niya, pero in your PAN and FAN, you should still indicate the legal basis. I-ano mo siya. So madetalye yan, mabusisi yan. Ang problema ng mga as we discussed the other day with Mr. Ko, some of these this BIR are not exactly that diligent, or they themselves may not understand what their staff did. Paano nahanap? So when they are doing the letter, they ask their legal department to write the letter. The legal department does not understand the sense of the audit. So, hindi nila nilalagay. So, if hindi mo nilagay, automatically, talo ka na. BIR ang talo. Okay? So, you get the idea of how you will question. So, if next time your parents tell you, ay may problema ako sa BIR, na FAN na, then you start questioning. Kung hindi ka binigyan ng notice, that's one. Violation of due process. Kung binigyan ka ng notice pero hindi nilagay yung computation hindi nilagay yung basis, legal basis, then you question it again, violation of due process again. Okay? Understand?
Understand naman, sir.
Okay. The next issue is, diba, you protest the fund. You have 30 days from the receipt to protest. If you don't protest, the assessment becomes final and executory. So you have no way anymore to correct the mistakes. But if you protest, then you have another 60 days to submit all the documents. Like I had a client, ang nangyari is nahuli na ano sila ng BIR, wala daw silang supporting yung purchases. The purchases had no invoices daw. Only DR ang na-record. Minsan, yun ang mali ng mga accounting. They only recorded the delivery receipt kasi yun ang natanggap nila. Yung invoice to follow yan palagi. They only the invoice after. So they failed to submit the invoice on time. So ang unang entry niya is DR. But then subsequently, mayroon na siyang invoice. Okay. So their findings was the disallowed sale because what was recorded or registered was only a delivery receipt. What we did was we had to find the invoices to show na may invoice corresponding to that delivery receipt. Na kamali lang ng recording yung ano namin, yung accountant. And the problem is the client was so afraid of COVID na 2 taon niyang hindi ma-submit. Ang hindi na mahanap. Diba? So, after COVID was subsided this September, saka sila nag-submit sa BIR. Sabi ng BIR, hindi na namin tatanggapin yan. Valid ba yung BIR? Yes. Kasi you only have 60 days from the filing of the protest to submit all relevant documents. So if you submitted some documents ahead of time, but the others you do not submit it within the 60 days, then you are already precluded from submitting. Yun ang problema ng documents. So relevant documents refers to all supporting documents. So we indicated there. Yes, the DR in our submission within the 60 days, we submitted that the corresponding DR was issued invoices, and the invoices was the one that we used to withhold the tax, etc. So there is a reference to an invoice number so and so. We will submit as soon as possible, and that was January of 2020. So we were supposed to have 60 days, but then March na lockdown. So lampas na kami ng 60 days. So now we have to let the BIR decide on the strength alone of what we submitted, because the relevant document includes all that you need to support your protest, not that what the BIR just wants you to show. Okay. So the BIR will have like the BIR required that, okay, if you want to protest, then you need to submit your bank document. Yung bank document. And our position is the bank, that is covered by bank secrecy. And then sabi ng BIR sa amin, kung wala ka naman tinatago, bakit ayaw mo pakita sa amin yung bank statement? Diba? Yun ang ano niya eh. Yun ang paghuli niya eh. Oh, may tinatago ka, no? Kaya ayaw mo pakita sa amin. Okay. Sabi namin, the issue of bank secrecy is protected by law. Okay? Bakit namin ayaw padala? Hindi naman sa may tinatago kami, but it's possible that when you submit the documents to the BIR with more than what they are looking for, hahaba ng hahaba. Like right now, ang ihanap namin sa amin is yung invoice lang na DR lang yung nilagay namin. Di ba? Pag sinubmit mo yung bank documents, ang mangyayari sa bank document is may makikita siya, oy, may pumasok ka 400,000 na. O, di ba yun ang ginawa nila kay Corona? I don't know if you remember, kasi si Corona, siya yung taong yung ano niya, every 30 days, nagro-roll yung nagro-roll siya ng time deposit. Marami siyang mga time deposit. And he was a former SGB partner. Then later on, he was a DBP, Development Bank of the Philippines high-ranking officer. So marami siyang pera. Ang problema is nung nilabas yung bank statement ng AMLA, pinalabas yung turnover. So in a year's time, pumasok na pera is 100 let's say 120 million. In reality, ang pera niya sa bangko was only 20 million. Pero 20 million mature in 1 month, ni-roll ulit. So 20 million ni-roll ulit, ni-roll. Hanggang sa siyempre pag-print po ng statement, in the course of 1 year, he had a deposit of 120 million. That is why we were questioning that. We question. Hala na. Okay. Now, so if you are not yet happy with the questioning of that, then the Commissioner of Internal Revenue gives the power of appeal or review to the Secretary of Finance. The power to decide disputed assessment, internal revenue refund of internal revenue taxes, and other matters arising of NRRC is subject to the decision of the Commission on Internal Revenue. Then if you are not happy with the decision, like what we said, within 180 days, hindi siya sumagot, then automatically you can appeal to the Court of Tax Appeal. The Court of Tax Appeal. That is the procedure. Okay. The Court of Tax Appeal is a collegiate court composed of 9 justices, sitting in 3 divisions. So, ang mangyari nun is they are all supposed to be tax expert. This is an admission by the legislature that these lawyers are not tax expert, or many lawyers are not tax expert. So when you go to the judges, they will not understand tax. That's why they formed a special court. The other special court is the Sandigan Bayan, which is handling graft and corruption cases. So you can see the nature of the tax matter is treated as if it's a special, as important as graft and corruption. Okay. So when do you appeal? If the protest is denied or is not acted upon within 180 days from the submission of your documents, then the taxpayer may appeal already to the Court of Tax Appeal within 30 days. Within 30 days from the decision or from the lapse of the 180 days period. Okay. What we kept emphasizing to you is if you are appealing to the review of the BIR and the Commissioner of Internal Revenue does not reply to you, it doesn't mean that the case is waiting, pending. It means that you will lose the case if it's over 180 days. And 30 days more lapse and you did not do anything, talo ka na. You understand? Madaya, no? yung gobyerno. So if you do not have to wait for a negative decision. The court may the BIR may not deny your this, they can just sit on your case. And then after sitting on your case, talo ka na. Okay? So you be careful. So marami siyang trap. The first trap is the 15 days of the PAN, you did not file a complaint. The second trap is within 30 days from the fund, you did not protest. Third trap is within 60 days from the protest, you did not submit your documents. Fourth trap is nag-protest ka, nag-submit ka na dokumento, 180 days lumampas, hindi nag-decide yung BIR. Talo ka pa rin. So palaging talo. Yes, Ms. Manikis.
Pero sir, can't you say naman that it's really out of your hands? So isn't that, yun na nga, it's unfair? So can't you still appeal that?
No more.
Really?
That's why I have to keep emphasizing this. Kaya delikado to, yung trap na yan. Once the PAN is fun and finally executory, you cannot even question the numbers anymore. So if the 180 days naman lapse, and then you have 30 days from the 180 day, and hindi ka pa nagpro-protest, then patay ka na. Talo ka na. So it's you sitting on your right. So effectively, what they are telling you, Ms. Manikis, is the ball is in your court, not in our court. We cannot be rushed to decide. So ito lang, sometimes they still decide and decide favorably for the taxpayer, especially if naabutan mo yung change of commissioner from Kim Henares to Dulay. The past two administration, from the time of Pinoy to the time of Duterte, there has been only one commissioner of internal revenue per president. For the whole term of Pinoy, it was Kim Henares. For the whole term of Dulay, Duterte, it was Dulay. So wala siyang ano. Pero dati nung panahon ni Gloria Arroyo ay ano yan, revolving door yan, every 1 year, 2 years may papalit yung commissioner. So it was even if there is a 180 days, some people just wait. Kasi when the new commissioner comes in, and they happen to be from the law firm that you hired, they will decide your case favorably. Kasi palit-palit sila. This commissioner may not think the same way. But since the time of Pinoy, where the BIR commissioner sat for 6 years, yung customs, maraming palit. Pero yung BIR commissioner, isang ano lang siya. To the point that during the time of Pinoy, there were 4 or 5 attempts to put Kim Henares in the Supreme Court. Ang tanong, was Kim Henares that good that she could be promoted to the Supreme Court? In reality, some of the lawyers nominating Kim Henares just wanted her out of BIR. Sa sobrang hirap niya, kadil, we just wanted her to be out of the BIR. So in the Supreme Court, she's just one of 15. So wala siyang masyadong issue. But in the BIR, she's the boss. She's one and only boss. And very hard to get her to decide. So madalas yung ganyan, yung 180 days. Doon ito yung panahon ni ni Pinoy, that this 180 days was used to the hilt. As in, every time na nak-appeal, hindi yan pag-aaralan ni Kim Menares, upuan niya hanggang 180 days, hindi siya magde-decide, then if you don't file an appeal within 30 days, talo ka na. Ganyan lang. Di ba unfair, Ms. Manikis?
Super unfair, sir.
Yeah, but tax is the lifeblood of the nation. If you allow the other way around, wala ka na makokolekta, di ba?
But sir, that also is disadvantageous for the people that are paying the tax. So wouldn't it be more difficult for them as well on their part if their policies are like this?
No, this is not the issue of taxpayer. This is issue of someone with deficiency, deficiency. That means that the BIR found you underpay your tax.
Oh, okay.
So like kay Manny Pacquiao, that is a classic example of how the BIR was running after money. So binigyan siya ng pan, binigyan pa na tapos fan. Ang service sa kanya sa PBA where he was the playing coach at that time. Tapos nung na-serve na, ang hinabol sa kanya is yung asset niya, the strength of his asset. Then that's the time he went to the Supreme Court. Sabi niya, hindi na siya papayag na imagine he's a congressman. And ganyan ng application sa kanya. And it's not even that he did not pay tax. The case of Manny Pacquiao is a bit different from other tax evader. Kasi he earned his money in America. Okay? What's the problem? The problem is he ran as congressman. So he's now technically a resident of the Philippines. Resident of Sarangani. So by being a resident, he's now taxable for his income in the Philippines and abroad. But it doesn't mean that he didn't pay tax because the fight was in America. Therefore, before he can leave for America, he must pay American tax. So nagbayad siya ng 20% of his income na withheld sa kanya. Okay. Yes, Mr. Ko.
So let's say if Manny Pacquiao had retired first before he ran for Congress, yung income lang niya as congressman matatax, not yung as voter, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yung income niya, yung income ni Manny Pacquiao from 2000 until 2008 were not covered by the BIR examination. It was only the 2009 when he ran for congressman against Dolin Antonino for congressman of General Santos City, that he was taxed. Okay. The issue is not the tax kasi he is liable for tax. Okay. The problem is he paid the tax in America. And how much did he pay in America? 20%. 20% already. So, what's the problem? The problem is the Philippines and America has a tax treaty. And whatever is paid in America is treated as if it is paid also in the Philippines. So he's not liable for 35% income tax anymore. He's not liable for the 35%, but he's liable for 20%. 33% or 35% less his 20%. The 20% he paid in America is treated as a tax credit. Okay. And since his 35% income tax, maximum siya eh. Lumampas siya doon sa bracket dati. This is before the train law. Ang mangyari is, let's say he's required to be 35%. If you hire an accountant will tell you, okay, wala kang expense sa Pilipinas. So what do? You apply for optional standard deduction. So if you apply for optional standard deduction, 40% of the income is treated as expense without question. So mangyari noon is, let's say $200 million ang kanyang income. Huwag man lang 200 million. So 1 billion na lang. 1 billion ang kanyang income. He is not taxable for 1 billion. He is taxable with 40% as optional standard deduction. So he's only taxable for 600 million as taxable income. So 35% of that is 210. Okay? Are you following? So 210 nun, di ba he had the income tax payment in America of 20% straight withheld. So kung 20% na withheld, 20% of 1 billion is 200 million. So ang babayaran lang niya sa Pilipinas is 10 million, not 200 million anymore. Or 2 billion as what the BIR was claiming. Do you understand or hindi? Okay. So what's the issue now? Bakit umabot sa distraint? Na-freeze lahat ng asset ni Pacquiao. Kasi nag-protest siya. He protested. He filed the protest within the 30-day period. The requirement is you need to submit your supporting documents within 60 days. Ang problema ng supporting document is the payment of IRS in America is all through online. Ang requirement ng BIR for you to claim tax credit of international tax treaty credit is for you to submit the original tax payment. Yung parang ginagawa natin dito na may form tapos ini-stamp ng BIR, yung may rubber stamp ng BIR. Gusto nila ganyan. Eh hindi nga ganyan ng procedure sa Amerika. Online sila lahat eh. Kahit na 200 million ng dollar ang ano mo. So, Manny Pacquiao was not able to submit the original withholding tax certificate from the Internal Revenue Services in America. Point ni Manny Pacquiao, wala namang ganyan. I will just show you that we paid. And we will show you whatever doc acknowledgement is made by online. So this was in the 2010 or 2012. You know, so you can imagine how behind we are. It's only today that the BIR thought of accepting online payment. This pandemic lang nakumpisa tayo. Sa Amerika, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, ganyan na sila. So, sabi ni Pacquiao, give me more time to produce. or give me time to or accept this IRS in online forms. Diba yung mga screenshot ng mga ano, ayaw ni Kim Henares. Ang ginawa is finish yung asset niya lahat. Hindi siya makagalaw, hindi siya makaano. So, nangyari is the Pacquiao side went to the Supreme Court and Pacquiao won. Okay? Understand, Mr. Ko?
Yes.
So, Court of Tax Appeal has jurisdiction over disputed assessment, and we already discussed this. If the assessment is no longer disputed but has become final and executory, yun yung sinasabi natin, 15 days from PAN, naging FAN. Hindi ka na-question, may 30 days ka pa mag-question, hindi ka rin na-protest, final and executory, then you can no longer appeal to the Court of Tax Appeal. What you can do is now question the grave abuse of discretion. That's Rule 65 of the court. Okay? That's why you need to keep the dispute hanging. Okay? Now, in the case of CIR versus Villa, the court said that you cannot appeal assessment, yung PAN preliminary assessment. You cannot appeal to the Supreme Court. Or you cannot appeal to the court or against the assessment because it must be the decision of the Commission on Internal Revenue on the protest. If you did not file a protest, then it is final and executory. There's nothing to appeal. Okay? Gets niya? Ito yung sinasabi. If the taxpayer appeals the fund to the Court of Tax Appeal without first protesting the thing, the case is dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. Nagets niyo yung procedure?
Yes, sir. So you need to protest first before.
Yes.
Okay.
But you cannot appeal the fund. You cannot appeal the fund. You can only appeal the decision of the Internal Revenue Commissioner of Internal Revenue, the BIR Commissioner, on the protest. Okay? So, if the BIR denies your decision within 90 days, what time do you have to appeal? Sino mag-volunteer last time? No one wants to volunteer na? Oh, takot na yung question. So you filed the protest January 2. Ha?
Ako sir, volunteer po ako.
Mr. Bautista. Sige. If you file your protest and submit your documents January 2, and the BIR decides your case April 2, when should you appeal to the Court of Tax Appeal?
I should have complained within 30 days.
Within
30 days.
of
60. Within 30 days from denial of the protest, or within 30 days from lapse.
when was the protest denied? Kasi sabi ko kanina, April 2. Mr. Bautista.
Wait lang, sir. Sir, pwede pakiulit po.
You filed your protest January 2. You submitted all your documents January 2. Okay? Up to April 2, the Commissioner of Internal Revenue decided to deny your protest. Up to when will you appeal? Can you appeal?
30 days, sir.
Oo nga, what is 30 days from?
From the denial from April 2.
So what is that? When is that?
Around, wait, until May 2, sir. Tama po
Yes.
ba?
Until May 2. You have until May 2 to appeal to the Court of Tax Appeal. If you appeal May 4, what happens?
It becomes final.
So what will happen?
The protest becomes null and void.
The protest will be dismissed.
Yes, sir.
So you
Dismissed.
need to pay the government na. Even no matter how meritorious your reason is. Okay? So you file again January 2 of 2020. Today, November 24. The BIR still has not decided what happens. Mr. Bautista, can you turn on your camera?
I'm on LTE lang po, sir.
Kasi
What
when
is
you're
the
not
question?
replying, I don't know whether you're there or not. Eh.
I'm here po. I'm just not sure.
So what happens now? November 24 na.
It's already past the 30 days to deny, sir.
To appeal.
To appeal.
Bakit 30 days? Kailan yung 30 days na sinasabi mo?
Days from the submission of relevant supporting documents. No. Sir, pwede pakiulit yung question last po. Last na po talaga.
Iniwala na. Ako na.
From the denial
File
of
kayo
protest.
submit kayo ng dokumento January 2. Today is November 25, 2021. Nakasubmit ka January 2, 2020. 2020, ah. Okay. Paano na? What can you do now? What happens? Ms. Manikis.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what happens?
What happens if
Today, November 25 na, wala pa rin action yung BIR. Nakaantay ka pa.
has it been passed na the 180-day period, sir?
Nag-file ka January 2, 2020. Nag-submit ka ng dokumento. Today is November 25, 2021. What happens now? What is the what happens to your case?
Sir, you may appeal to the
Can you
may
still appeal to the Court of
Ah.
Tax Appeal?
wait lang, January 8. No, wala na, sir.
Wala na.
Yeah, it's already past the 108. It's already past the 180 days and the 30 days after. So the
Yes. So,
210 days.
kung 180 days yan, dapat July 2. So you have until August 1 to file an appeal, theoretically, of 2020. Since you did not file an appeal until 2020, by now, kahit na wala pa rin decision yung BIR after 2 years, the case is the assessment is now final and executory. Yun ang point na sinasabi natin. You understand,
sir.
Tito Bautista?
Yes, sir, gets.
Okay. That's why we are just applying what we learned. Yun eh. Okay. If the taxpayer doesn't appeal, there is another case, the Lasconia versus Commissioner of Internal Revenue, where the Court of Tax Appeal still accepted the case. Okay, and then now make it make it merely directory, that if it within 30 days from the lapse of the period. Okay, but if the Commissioner of Internal Revenue decides on the protest, then you have only 30 days from the time. Natanda mo yung kwento ko sa inyo kanina na nagdi-decide yung yung nagpapalit-palit sila ng commissioner. If the commissioner should change and they come up with a ruling, can you still appeal even if it's beyond the 180 days? Yes. So long as they make a decision. Gets? You understand? So today, November 25. Today, November 25, 2021. Biglang lumabas yung Commissioner of Internal Revenue. Then, you have 30 days to appeal from November 25. Okay. But if you do not appeal, if you wait until what if the BIR never comes out with the ruling? Then wala kang magawa. Okay? Itong sinasabi niya is the option to wait and the option to file is mutually exclusive. Okay? So if you choose already to file protest, then you can no longer wait for the decision of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. The problem is the BIR does not always issue the FDDA, the final decision on disputed assessment. Okay, that's where there are certain lapses. Kasi yung BIR mismo, collect sila ng collect, pero hindi sila nag-ano ng trabaho. So, certain actions of the BIR is treated as decision, ha? Or this, issuance of a revised assessment. Issuance of a final notice before seizure. Yun yung kay Pacquiao. Isi-seize na yung asset niya. Issuance of final demand letter. Issuance of a warrant of distraint or levy. So even if there's no decision that says your appeal is dismissed or your protest is dismissed, but if the commissioner decides to give you a warrant of distraint, fini-freeze yung asset mo, then sorry ka na lang. Okay? Now, what happens within the Court of Tax Appeal? What if talo ka? Okay? Pag talo ka, then you must file within 15 days a motion for reconsideration. If after 15 days, wala pa rin, then you appeal to the en-banc for the next 15 days. Pag wala pa rin, talo pa rin ka sa en-banc. En-banc means the nine justices. Diba? Initially, a case will be assigned to 3 justices lang. If the 3 justices do not agree, then it will be appealed to the en-banc, to the 9. If the 9 do not agree with you, then you appeal to the Supreme Court. So hindi na siya Court of Appeals, diretsong Supreme Court na lang. Okay? Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it for our course. Any questions so far?
None naman, sir.
Okay, how many of you have camera? Turn on your camera so that we can have a class picture. Oh, tayong dalawa lang, Miss Salita. Oh, turn on your camera. Oy, Manlises, ikaw na lang. Buhay pa. Oh.
Sir, hindi ako kita.
Sir, ako wala.
Saan ka? Sino yung
Sir,
wala?
ito, invisible.
Nako-on cam ko, pero wala ako dito, sir.
Bakit kaya?
Di ba ako rin, sir? Oh.
Eh, wala. Ano na lang, experiment na lang. Sige. Ano na lang tayo. We will do a screenshot. Ano ba yung sa Mac? Control S o Control 4?
It's Command Shift 3, sir.
3.
Sir, mine's super choppy. I'm annoyed.
Wala tayong magawa. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, done. Okay, now, what's next? Wait. 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 What do you do?
Sir, will we be doing the course evals na?
Yes, now is to So there are 2 things that you will do for the rest of the period. Number 1, you will do the course evaluation. Number 2 is you will evaluate your group mates. Di ba dalawang project na kayo nag-submit? Dalawang group project. The first is the formative assessment on taxation, di ba?
Yes, sir.
The second one is the formative assessment or summative assessment on the real property computation. Okay. So, Ms. Manikis, can you post the link
For the
for
class
both or
one.
wala ka?
Because I think the one on the one
Course?
on the one for the course is on ISIS. I can
Okay.
send the link for the
Only-
class one.
For the class na lang, sige. Okay. Make sure to read carefully the instruction. If you decide to cheat, I will treat it as a. If you decide to connive and cheat, then I will treat it as as if you did not submit, and I will just give you the grade based on my own assessment. Okay. Any questions so far? And then Ms. Manikis and I agreed to remove one day, the 7th, from the exam day. So you will only have 2 days to take the exam. In that case, it will be the 9th and the 14th, no, Ms.
14th.
We agreed to allow you to answer by pair. Ilan kayo lahat? 28, no?
Yes, sir. 28.
So 14 groups. Kasya na tayo in 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Tama, no? Oh, sige. Anyway, if you agree to have a group presentation, file orals, what will happen is you will be graded as 1, ha? Isang grade lang yan. Same 3 questions. Kung 15 minutes ba kasya?
Sir?
Kung 15 minutes per
15 minutes, sir,
oh.
per pair. I think
Hmm.
15, 30, 90 minutes. Sorry, wait, I'm computing it. I don't think so.
Hindi,
Because-
lalampas ka lang ng kalating oras eh.
Yes, sir.
So maybe
So-
you put half an hour after 14. On the 9th and the 14th, you at another half an hour. 11 to 2. 11 to 1. Ano ba
11
11 to
to
1.
For both days.
Yes.
Okay, sir. So 15 minutes each.
Okay. And then you probably want to use the 50 minutes because it's just one question, 3 questions. So hindi na siya masyadong hindi naman siya ganyan katagal I'm just giving extra time in case na some of you might want to take more time to compute. Now, the other issue is you must you must make sure that you have the camera and the mic on, ha? Okay? For your so kung wala kayong mic o camera, maghiram kayo. Kung wala, then I will have to do it find a way for us to do it. You will satisfy that you're not cheating. Medyo suspicioso akong tao, ha? Okay? Now, do I wait for you to I'll stop recording.